Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg. I'm Village President Al Larson. In this episode, I'll be talking with Rob Paleckis about the Prairie Center's Student Film Festival. Then Helen Gilombardo and Terry Culbert from the Spring Valley Chorus will be here. We'll finish the program with Peggy Olland and Doran Peterson from Stray's Halfway House. And I think they're bringing a little furry friend. All of this and more today on Speaking of Schaumburg. The Screen Test Student Fest is a film festival that features the work of young filmmakers from throughout the entire area. Here to tell us more about the fest is the Prairie Center's production supervisor, Rob Paleckis. Rob, welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thanks for having me again.
Yes, absolutely.
It's always nice to be here.
This film festival, this Schaumburg Film Festival, Chicagoland Film Festival.
Chicagoland, you're absolutely right. We're going into our 6th season.
How did it start?
Well, you know, it's a funny story. We had, and you've met Jay before, Jay Flynn, who was a longtime Schaumburg resident. I think when he was in his 8th grade, he emailed village manager Ken Fritz and said Schaumburg, being a festive town, should have its own film festival. And Ken Fritz emailed Betsy Armistead, the director of the center, and me, and says, let's look into this. And we did look into it, and we thought, well, I think that's something we could possibly do. And lo and behold, our first year, we got about 13 movies that were shown, and from then on, it's been a big hit.
Now, the young man who asked for the film,
Jay Flynn.
Jay Flynn,
right?
What kind of film has he produced?
Yeah, you know, that's a very good question, and I wish he was here to answer that, and his answer would be none. Jay is one of those guys who he said, I want to do this, I want to have a movie. 5 years and no film submitted, but he's been a great instrumental part of the festival, helping backstage. Okay. So I'll take that. I'll take that as a trade-off.
Well, what's the age limit?
The festival is open to all students in grades 5 through 12.
Okay.
And we're doing something pretty exciting for this year, so it's a great timing to be here to talk about it. The festival has 2 evenings, 2 nights.
Sure.
We have our regular competition on Saturday, April 28th, and that will feature just films from all students grades 5 through 12. All sorts, comedy. As a matter of fact, I think we might have something here that we set up to show. One of the films that I believe won an award last year, and I'm not sure which one it is, but I think it's going to be playing.
It's going to be playing right over here.
I think we have it right over here, as a matter of fact. Yeah, it should be coming up. Here it comes. This is a wonderful piece. This is by a student, Kyle Rawlinson. He was a senior last year. And he made a film called Waiting for Time. And he really rather expertly combined live action, as you see in the whole movie, with claymation, stop action animation, and made this really touching video about a gentleman who's just looking at kind of remembering his past. So very sweet. So Kyle did win an award. I believe he took first place for that film right there. So you can see a wide variety of stuff that we show. Now,
is there a limit on entrance? I mean, how do you do that? You pare them down by?
Yeah, we actually, as a matter of fact, we had about 36, 37 films entered last year. We only had time to show 12 of them. So only a third of the films make it into the festival. So it's a very selective festival, and we have a panel of judges.
Who are they?
We've had in the past, Dan Geyer with the Daily Herald was a judge for us. We've had other people who work in the industry, either independent film producers. Kathy Rivera, you might know, as a well-known producer who works here in Schaumburg. She's been a judge of the festival. So we've had some pretty good people who've selected these films and picked them out.
Now, it's not all animation, though, is it?
It's not all animation, and actually I brought another sample to show you. It's a film called The Address, and I think you saw this last year, and it has kind of a more mysterious sort of that film noir look to it, and I think we have that here. Here it is.
Cue that film.
And there it is.
Oh, yeah.
And as you can see, this is Joe Costi. Joe is a senior last year. Joe and Kyle both, I believe, have gone on to become to go to college to study film. And
this is the one with a violent.
It's got, let's say, there's a big. The ending ends with a bang. Put it that way. So.
Oh yeah.
So as you can see, he builds up great amount of tension. just with these two characters, nice close-ups, shady characters. So that's some of the stuff.
I wanted to see the end of that.
Well, you know, it's a PG thing, so maybe we shouldn't show that. This is a family show, isn't it?
I'm not sure about that, but
so we have everything from animation to comedy to as you saw, some drama. And now for this year, on Friday night, we're inviting classrooms to get involved. We want to see team projects. So we want teachers to get together with students and put together class projects. And once we get 10 together, we're going to show them on Friday night, and they're going to also compete for awards as well. So
that's great.
So that's going to be really exciting too.
So you got two separate categories, of course.
Two separate categories. One for groups, teams, teacher-led class projects, and then one for just our Saturday night where you can almost anything goes. And yeah, we've shown it all.
Have you ever considered dividing it in further dividing in categories? I mean, animation versus.
Yeah, we actually have done that in the past. There's so many ways you can give out awards, and we love doing that. And we might revisit, giving an award to the best animation. We get some great nonfiction, some documentaries.
Sure.
I think you recall we had one student who did a recreation of a World War II battle scene, which was extraordinary. I think it was beautifully done. So. It's amazing what kids can, not even kids, young adults can come up with nowadays. They have such a, I think, sophisticated eye for visuals.
Do you ever track what happens to these kids once they?
Yeah, we like to keep in touch with some of them. Some of them go on to college to make films. We try to, maybe Google them or Facebook them and see how they're still doing. So I think this might be a good year to invite some of them back just to see how they've progressed since. Yeah, it's been 6 years now since we've had the festival. So some of them, I'm guessing, have gone through college and maybe even working in the field. So I think it'd be fun to follow up on that.
What I find really interesting is the very intelligent questions that are addressed at these young filmmakers, and then they rattle off all these statistics. Oh, we use this particular program, or we tried that, but this didn't work, and it's amazing.
It really is.
The depth of knowledge.
Yeah, I think it goes above my head after a while because they technology waits for no one, and they seem to be on the cusp of it. They know what the latest things are to use, and they're doing it now for less money now because it's more accessible, and they're just that much more sophisticated than you and I hate to say it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was born this way. I have no aspirations.
Oh, well.
My film career ends right at this show here.
Let's say we have other gifts. Well, you do. I don't know about me, but yeah, the kids. I mean, and they do it at the festival. Every filmmaker goes up on stage, as you mentioned, and they introduce their project, and then they answer questions from the audience. And I think that's the best part and the most fun for me.
And make certain they use that microphone too.
And make sure they use that microphone too. Absolutely. But a lot of them they say they're afraid, they're nervous, and once they start talking about their film, they're very natural.
Well, it's a passion for them, I would imagine.
It really is. They really do have a passion, and they really are telling a story. And I think they're telling a little bit about themselves. I think it's autobiographical. I think what they do. So
really,
they'd like to share it.
You think that film noir was biographical, autobiographical?
Well, let's check the paper and see what happens with him.
Don't give that kid my home address. All right. I mean.
No, we'll keep.
I don't mind, Rob. I don't mind if you want to hang out with him, but
No. After the evening, we tell him to go home. We disperse the group. So yeah, we'd like to do. I think we want to do a little bit more of a red carpet treatment this year, and that's something we're.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
To kind of give it a little more of a zazz.
Actually, have a red carpet.
You have one?
No.
We could use one. So if any donations come in, we'd like to get one.
Yeah. Well, Rob.
So. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
It's wonderful. It's a great program. We like to encourage people to get involved.
And it broadens what the Prairie Center has to offer.
It does. I think it just adds another youth program to a really fine.
And that's important. When can you hear a barbershop chorus in Schaumburg? Well, find out next on Speaking of Schaumburg. Barbershop music is a unique American art form, and the Spring Valley Chorus sings their hearts out in four-part harmony all around the community. Here to tell us more are Helen Gilambardo and Terry Calvert. Welcome, Speaking of Schaumburg.
Welcome, thank you.
How did, what caused this group to come together? What happened with, what was the inspiration behind bringing together a barbershop chorus?
Barbershop is a very popular hobby. And a lot of women take part in that. And there were a group of women in the Schaumburg area who decided to start up their own chorus in 1996. And we started off with like 5 members, and now we've grown to having over 20 members.
Really? The audition for you, is that part of the process? I mean, and when they get turned away, do they weep?
We do auditions.
Yes.
But generally speaking, my philosophy is that anybody that comes into the chorus that can match a tune, that can sing a harmony part, that can hear the harmony by ear, I find is very trainable. And part of our philosophy is indeed educational based, so that is indeed the goal, to teach them this particularly unique American musical art form.
Well, that's great. That's great. So they can come in and not know a thing about music, and still you guys can rescue that hidden talent.
Generally, it helps if somebody's had at least some kind of choral music background, either at school.
Gregorian chant, does that
Gregorian
qualify?
chant, actually, strangely enough, would work because of the harmony that they used to sing. We do have effectively a countertenor part, which sings above the lead line, which is the melody line, and that is actually real typical, very unique to the barbershop music art form in terms of choral music.
How did you get started singing barbershop?
You know, I actually saw a little ad that was in the paper. I had been singing in my church choir for several years, and it was pretty much singing the same songs over and over again, and I wanted a challenge, and I saw this little ad in the paper that said there was a chorus forming. And I really didn't know anything about barbershop at that time, and I went and I joined in. You know, they gave me the music and sat me down, and I started to sing, and I was like, wow, this is really fun.
I knew a guy that belonged to the Society of
for the preservation and encouragement of barbershop quartet singing in America.
Yeah, all these letters strung together.
Right, and that was actually unique to the Men's Society, which actually formed in the late 1930s. Okay. They have since basically taken a shorter, more marketable version of that, simply called the Barbershop Harmony Society, but SPEBSQSA is still a part of their corporate name.
Sure. How did you get started?
I actually fell into it because I had come out of college, and the gentleman that was actually the director of my local Sweet Adeline's chorus in my downstate Illinois hometown of Pontiac said, hey, what are you doing on Thursday nights? I actually knew him through musical theater from the previous summer. And he says, you know, I really didn't have a great excuse. I was kind of bored looking for something to do. And he goes, yeah, come on out. And of course, they make me audition within like 2 weeks. And that was in 1982. So here I am. And I actually met my husband through this art form as well. We went to a party and
started singing away at the party?
Pretty much everybody was singing away in the backyard barbecue. And I knew who he was because he was a championship barbershop quartetter at the time, and I knew of his music arranging, so we had a lot to talk about in that first conversation.
Well, that's great. That's great. Now, where have you performed beyond just here in Schaumburg?
We go every year. We go to a contest for Sweet Adelines, so that's up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we go there in May. We performed all through the northwest suburbs. One of the really fun things we do is in February we do Singing Valentines.
Oh, really?
We go everywhere.
So we go everywhere. We go in the city of Chicago, we go north, we go south.
The
we
entire
go
chorus or just the...
Usually quartets.
Okay.
And we go to nursing homes, we go to places of business, schools.
Oh, that's great.
Private parties, homes.
I didn't realize that. That's something to consider, folks, if you want...
We're quite portable. I think that's one of the things that I do like about us is that we're very portable. We really don't need to plug in, amps and all that stuff. We don't need to tote along a keyboard. If we have our pitch pipe, we will travel.
Now, I understand that you actually sang the full chorus, or had a full chorus sing it at Lexington Field before a baseball game.
That's correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had a fun time last summer, about this time last year, and we did not only the national anthem, but we volunteered to sing the 7th inning stretch in our version of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." We went right up into the press box and sang it up there.
And we've got some footage on that right here.
Yes.
Right here.
in the front. Everybody knows.
As most typical barbershop favorites do, there's a little story behind it all.
Okay.
And one of the things that we like to do is develop performance songs that actually sort of have a theme to it, which we can costume and tell the stories.
Really? Yeah. Now, what kind of surprises do you get? How do people react when a singing happy birthday greeting shows
Well, you could tell them about the flash mob we did around the community this spring.
I'd love to hear that. Tell me about it.
Well,
or tell us about it.
July 13th is Barbershop Appreciation Day. So it's one of those kind of made-up holidays that promotes barbershop singing in America. And this year we decided that what we would do is take our rehearsal night and go around Schaumburg and just surprise people singing barbershop. So we showed up at the Vulcaning Lake. That was our first stop.
Okay.
And people were out walking their dogs and going around the lake, and we sang there at the concession
Under the shelter
stand.
right there,
sure.
yeah.
And people were blown away. They stopped what they were doing. They came over and started taking pictures and videos. And then from there, we went over to the Oberweis ice cream store.
Oh, sure, right by the fountain. Interactive fountain.
It was completely packed. We walked into the lobby there and sang Take Me Out to the Ball Game, I think, that night.
And then we went over to the train station and visited some commuters coming home and sang to them. And everybody was surprised and happy, and it was just a really great, fun thing that we did.
That had to be fun. That had to be fun. The reaction has to be real positive, too.
Well, it always is. I think generally we sing music, quite frankly, that you're really not hearing that much anymore, even on the radio and so forth. So when people hear all these familiar songs that they knew from Americana's past, they really love it.
When people want to see you perform, where are you going to see the next month or so? Where are you going to go?
We do have our 10th anniversary show that's going to be coming up in March.
Okay.
That will be happening very soon. We have several private engagements over the next few months.
If somebody wanted a quartet or somebody to show up and sing Happy Birthday or however, who do they contact?
Well, the best way is through our website. We have springvalleychorus.org.
Okay.
And you can get contact information off that website.
Okay.
And we'd be happy to come out and sing for birthdays or anniversaries or any special occasion.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's a fun thing to do, too.
It is a fun thing.
So,
absolutely.
And if somebody wanted to try out for your chorus?
Once again, the same. The website, we have information. Really, pretty much, we try to put everything we can. You can find out about our group, which happens to range from ages 7 all the way up to mid-70s. So we're kind of a multi-generation group that's really very family friendly and mother-daughter friendly and so forth. So we very much encourage that. It's something that you can do with really a group of all ages, and it's just a lot of fun. I think it's just such a joyful experience to be able to get out there and sing this kind of music.
Oh, sure. Well, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Interested in making a small furry animal addition to your household? Find out how next on Speaking of Schaumburg. Stray's Halfway House is an all-volunteer, registered not-for-profit organization dedicated to rescuing stray and abandoned animals in the villages of the northwest suburbs. Here to tell us more are Peggy Olland and Doran Peterson. Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
You're Doran and you're Peggy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me about how did Stray's Halfway House get started?
It came to being from Don and Belinda Olson, who are from Schaumburg originally, and Sharon and Don Golick. The two ladies met and came together 30 years ago and tried to figure out what would happen with the stray animals that Schaumburg Animal Control was picking up. And that's how they came up with the idea. At that time, there were no licensed rescues that didn't have an actual building. So it took almost a year for the organization to be licensed by the Department of Agriculture, and then for each one of us to have our own individual state license.
Oh, so how many volunteers are there?
Well, they come and they go, as we say. They have
how long have you been involved?
I've been 10 years.
10 years.
I think 17, something like that.
Wow. A lot of cats and dogs and...
Correct. For the last 6.5 years, though, we're strictly cats.
Oh, really?
Because we didn't have any more dog fosters.
Okay.
So, And as I said, they come and they go. There's what we call foster failures. So they foster and they adopt, so then they no longer foster. But that's okay.
Sure.
But that's the term we use for them.
How many strays do you typically, have for, let's say, over a month or so? I mean,
we were just talking about that. This economy has affected everything. And years ago, like 3 years ago, there was probably about 300 animals a year that we adopted out. But now adoptions have slowed because of the economy and people can't afford it. So
15, 16, how many do we have right now? A little under 20
under
maybe?
20 that are available. And they're staying with us longer. Like my 8-week-old kittens are now 4.5 months old.
so what happens when the kittens become cats?
They're still with us till they're adopted.
Okay.
We may move them from foster home to foster home, but they're still in the organization.
Ah, okay, all right. How many foster homes do you have?
Right now, we actively have 6. There's a couple that take breaks or go on vacation.
Okay.
I'm not one of those. So they go up and down. All those things fluctuate.
How many cats do you have?
4. Our license is for 4. And I
have
personally
4.
have 3.
And I have 3 of my own too.
Okay. So you have 7? Mm-hmm. Ooh, my heavens. That's got to be lively at your place.
Well, my cats are 9 and 8 and 4, and they're pretty used to having foster kittens around.
What are the names?
My cats?
Yes.
Let's see, I have Tipper and Bo and Willow.
And what?
Willow?
Willow.
She's
Okay.
She's all white.
She's beautiful.
I don't know
Okay.
where we get these names
She was a foster that never left.
Yeah,
Okay.
I adopted her, yeah. And my fosters are Sandy and Lily and Jerry and Maggie.
Do people, when they adopt the cats, they change the name typically?
A lot of them do, but a lot of them keep it because
Yeah.
they respond to it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We call our fosters by name and they do respond. So a lot of them do keep it. I would say more than 50%.
Yeah.
And what are the names of your cats?
My fosters right now are Lucy and Bobby and Annie, Little Orphan Annie.
All female? All?
Bobby's not.
Bobby's not? Okay. Well, I don't know. I know a Bobby.
Roberta, correct.
I know a
Yeah.
Bobby who's not a boy, so.
And Doran has brought Sandy
Oh, yeah.
for everyone to see.
Yeah, let's see Sandy.
Okay. She has a sister at my house too, whose name is Lily.
Okay.
And she looks a lot like Sandy, only she has white paws and legs. And
Oh, how pretty.
Sandy's 9 weeks old now.
How pretty.
Isn't she beautiful?
Oh, yes.
The classic tabby markings.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
she has
oh, yes.
the swirls on the side.
Oh, my. Oh, she's purring.
Oh, she's
You've
wonderful.
got a real purr.
She was a victim of an eviction.
Got a real purr.
And will probably
motor.
be somewhere in the studio.
Very friendly.
Yes, she is. She has very soft fur.
And that's a product of when they live in the home. They're not caged. They're held and loved and spoiled rotten.
So they're very domesticated then, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Extremely. And it's hard for us to give a lot of them up, too.
Oops. People always say they couldn't foster because they couldn't give them up.
Oh, my. I'm just
She
gonna
loves water.
Gonna drink your water. Well, I'm glad we did something for you there.
She also
and she's
likes my
drinking.
husband's coffee. She sticks her head in there, but,
Yeah.
well, she is drinking the water.
Yeah, she is.
It's all right. I didn't need it anyway.
She was rescued, as I said, she was an eviction, and then we took her from the DuPage County shelter.
And where do you get your cats from?
A lot of them are from either the Cook County shelter on 28th and Western or DuPage or Doran. Over the weekend, a woman had called, went into Roselle, she had found a stray kitten. So if people call and we have room, then we take them in that way also. Or from Aurora. It's usually places where they could euthanize them. So we get them out of there.
Okay, all right. Do you work with the animal hospital here in Schaumburg?
Several. We work with Spring Valley, Parkwise. They're good enough to lower their prices for us to make it affordable for us. We still lose money when we adopt, but that's not the idea of making
Yes.
money.
Oh, sure.
To find a good home for them.
Yeah, my heavens.
Isn't she good?
You're so pretty.
Say
Oh,
hi,
now you're
Sharon.
going to drink
drink your
Peggy's
water,
too.
huh?
I got some too. So maybe someone will see her and call.
Yeah, that would
This
be
is
nice.
Sandy.
And who would they call?
They would call the main number, the
And-
630-351-3150, and say that they saw Sandy.
Oh, my. It's just pretty. So pretty and so smooth. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. You want to drink my water too, huh? Huh? Okay, well, go ahead.
I think a lot of people keep the name, though. I had a lady, she emailed me. We tried for 2 weeks to think of another name, and we decided the one she already had was, she knew her name, so.
Oh, no. We don't want you falling off the edge over there.
So she's happy. Her tail is up like a flag. She's a happy little girl.
Who are those people over there? Who are those people off camera?
Are you having a good time, huh?
How can people donate to Strays?
Through the P.O. Box of 68811 in Schaumburg. We just had our 30th birthday bash at Villa Olivia, September 18th.
Okay.
And we raised money through our raffle tickets that you bought, and many other people. And we had a silent auction, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Well, we have to say adieu. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you. Come here.
You want to?
Yes.
I want more time.
Yeah, you want to wave goodbye?
Bye. We're off.
And that will do it for this edition of Speaking of Schaumburg. Join us again next month for another all-new episode. Until then, I'll see you around town.